Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Toy Collector Review with me, Sergeant Geek. And today we're going to be looking at a really cool character. He's an adversary of one of the most favorite iconic characters out there. This is from Spawn. This is the Redeemer. And this is made by the McFarlane toy line. This thing looks really cool, but before we get into the figure, let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. Now, as you can see, you got that big window so you can see this figure, and this figure does look amazing. It looks awesome. I am so glad I got one of these guys. Now, you can see a lot of the detail on the figure, and guys, if you don't know about the Redeemer, this is pretty much God's answer to Spawn. Spawn is a hell spawn from hell, and the Redeemer is one of God's warriors. He's the anti-Spawn. He can do everything Spawn can do, where Spawn gets his powers from darkness, Redeemer gets his from light. I think it's really cool. You can see on the back, you got a really cool product shot of the figure right there. Really awesome. These figures, ever since they've been coming out from the Spawn comic book, they always make great sculpted figures. I've had a few of these in the past. Really cool. I'm excited to get my hands on this one here. As you can see, the box looks really cool. Now I'm hoping this ain't a box collection, so guys, let's go ahead, let's open the box and let's get them out and let's take a look at the figure. Alright guys, so here's the Redeemer out of the box. I had to attach the wings to his back. He is pretty heavy, but guys, let's go ahead and let's take a look at some of the details on him. Now, as you can see, they went with a blue and gold on this Redeemer, which is awesome because that gold really pops, that blue pops. You can see that green in the middle there. Highly detailed on the sculpting here. Really good job on that. I like that a lot. Let's get the camera in focus. The armor's got detail. The hands got detail. The wings got lots of detail to them. As you can see, they didn't just sculpt one side. Whoops, almost dropped them there. But you can see lots of sculpting on this figure. Lots of detail. You do got to be careful with the head, as those spikes are really pointy. But once again, look at the detail on the wings. The back doesn't have much detail to it, but that's okay because there's so much on this figure that looks really cool. Once again, awesome looking. I just love the blue and gold on there. Looks really cool. And for those of you guys, once again, not really sure, this is the anti-Spawn. So I guess this is God's answer to Hellspawn. But guys, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the articulation. Now the head is kind of stiff here, but you do get some left and right. You get a little bit of up and down, but not much. Now at the shoulders, he doesn't go all the way 90 degrees, but he comes really close. As you can see here, the armor gets in the way a little bit, but not much. He does have 360 degree rotation at the shoulder. And don't worry, the wings have some articulation to it too. You can actually move the wings out of the way. Really cool. He does have a little bit of give and play in the shoulders as well, so you can move his arms in and out, which is really cool once again. Now this figure, like most of McFarlane figures, does have the double jointed elbows, so he can go past 90 degrees. And he does have some articulation in the wrist as well, which is really cool. And he does have bicep rotation as well. Now with the chest, he has two pieces for his upper chest, so he gets some give there and some bend, which is really cool. Now the legs come up short. That's as far as he can go out to the side. And to get him to go forward, you actually got to twist him off to the side, kind of like an old school action figure. Now let's go ahead and let's see if the knees with the double jointed, how far they can go. As you can see, he can almost kneel on them completely. Really cool. I just like the way they do those double jointed elbows and knees like that. Looks really good. Now, the one thing I do have an issue with is the ankles on this figure. Let me get it up so you can see. Let me pull it up. As you can see, you got these weird articulated ankles, which in my history has never been able to hold a figure up the way it's supposed to. He does have the articulation in the toes, which is really cool. But what this tells me, this figure's gonna need some sort of stand to hold him up, because he is a heavy figure, and to get him to stand on his own will be ridiculous. You'll have to have him hunched over which will look retarded, and I don't want to do that with the Redeemer. I want it to look cool on my shelf, so I'm gonna have to pick up a stand for him. So far, that's the only thing I've got on this figure here. Really cool, really nicely done. Now he does come with one accessory, and pretty much all Redeemers come with it, is the sword right here. This is a really nicely detailed sword as well. You can see lots of detail to it. They brushed it with some black to give it that effect. Looks really cool. Let's go ahead and let's see if I can get this in his hands, because his fingers are super tight. So I don't want to break this figure. I want him to be able to hold his weapon, but I don't want to do any damage to him. So let me see if I can get his hand to wrap around his sword. Almost there. Oh, let's see if we can get it this way. Nope. Oh, I don't want to break that hand. I don't want that hand to come off. Let me see. Can I get him to get his hand on it? Is it possible for him to hold it? This is the one thing about Farling figures. It is hard to get him, but I did manage to get him to hold his weapon. Really cool once again. And he's got his triggers out. I do have some accessory of other weapons in his scale that I'll be able to add to him on display, but here he is right here. Once again, a really cool figure. Nicely done. And I think this is where we're going to end this episode for today. Alright guys, so that wraps up another episode of Toy Collector Review. Now when it comes to the Spawn Redeemer from McFarlane Toys, is it worth getting? In my opinion, yes. If you're a Spawn fan, this is something you definitely got to get. Redeemers are very, very cool figures, and they are the adversary to Spawn. So if you're a collector like I am, if you have an Optimus Prime, obviously you got a Megatron. If you got a Duke, you got a Cobra Commander. If you got a Spawn, you got a Redeemer on the shelf as well. That's just the way it goes. You got to make the set complete. This one is really cool. The only issue I have with them is his ankles. Now, as you can see here, the stand I got here will actually hold him up pretty cool. And this is a 3-jointed stand. So if I want to get him in a jumping pose or a flying pose, I can actually do that with this stand. These stands are pretty sturdy. Now, guys, once again, we come to that point in the video. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, become a member of the channel. Hit that bell notification so you guys can be notified every time I put out a new video. And guys, if you like the videos that I'm putting out on this channel, go ahead and hit that like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. And for those of you guys who would like something particular to see on this channel, go ahead and hit me in the comment section below, and I will do my best to get that out there for you guys. And for those of you guys who are watching this on Rumble, go ahead and smash that Rumble button. It does help. And guys, don't forget, share these videos on all your social media platforms. Let's get the channel growing. And guys, don't forget, if you guys want to be a part of any of the giveaways that are on this channel, go over to Facebook and go to the Facebook group Nerdvana. That's where we run all the giveaways out of. It is a real cool thing. We give away free prizes and free collectibles and free 3D printed items to you guys. No charge to you. We cover the shipping and handling and everything for you guys. You guys can go check out the group and see past winners. We got another contest coming up, or giveaway coming up in the month of October. So guys, make sure you make it over to Nerdvana so you can sign up and be up to date, and make sure you win yourself some cool collectible stuff. Like I said, whatever I can get my hands on, I try to pass it out to you guys. It's the way to keep the community going. All right, guys, well, it's that point in the video where I have to say I'm Sergeant Geek, and I'm signing off.